Adam Lee is a creative writer at D&D, so I talked to him about the Tomb of Annihilation, his chemistry with the other writers, and also about involving dungeon masters in his stories.
We kind of kept the same danger, but we also made it like there's possibility that you can get through this thing alive. And one of the things that Perkins and Richard and I talked about was that when you go through this adventure, your character is going to come out of it, if they come out of it alive, they're going to be forever changed somehow. They're going to be missing limbs, or they're going to be scarred, or they're going to have a chicken foot, or they're going to have some kind of crazy personality thing that's gone on with them. We talked about like where we're going to go next, and the Tomb of Horrors was this giant, epic, awesome meat grinder D&D dungeon that everybody knows and loves and is horrified by. And we were just like, well, why don't we do that and do our own spin of it? And then we got talking and we got in a room. We started bantering around ideas of what this thing could be and how would we update it and what would we do different. Then we thought of Pendleton Ward. And we said, why don't we get in contact with him and bring him in? Wouldn't that be fun? And we knew he was a big D&D fan. And we called him up and he was like, I totally want to do this, which was great. So we brought him in. And we sat for 3 amazing days and talked about Tomb of Horrors and horrible traps and twisted gods and crazy characters. And we came out of that series of meetings enlightened and horrified and delighted all at the same time. I like 2 things. I like stories that are fun and that make people laugh and that people enjoy. But I also like depth. I like stories that when you experience them, you come away with it with some kind of real world applicable wisdom. So if I'm ever doing stories, I tend to be the one who goes deep and who goes into sort of the deep well of metaphysics and all that. And while Richard and Perkins, they tend to keep me more light and fun. So I think we balance each other out really great as a kind of a story team. Perkins comes in with this, he's got definitely a giant gearbox that he can use. Sometimes he's in crank down mode where he can just focus and go, go, go. And then sometimes he is like a jester and, coming out with like really fun, wacky stuff. Richard is, he is super organized in one area, like he can structure things out, but he is also an amazing storyteller and he has just got the greatest imagination. He's done a lot of DMing in his time. He's also a brilliant artist. And so visually he can see things, he can describe it to you as, he's telling the story. So we all inspire each other and we all riff off of each other in, I think, a really cool way. And then we're always bringing somebody else from the outside in. So that's always an extra little added drop. Like for Curse of Strahd, we worked with Tracy Hickman and we've worked with Bob Salvatore. So we get this wonderful privilege to work with some amazing creative people. We definitely are always referencing other things from Dungeons & Dragons. The multiverse is a big place. And while we don't know whether we're going to go to a different setting or not, we're keeping that in the sort of the loop, and you never know. We might just go to Planescape, or we might just go to Dark Sun. Who knows? I feel like, first of all, I'll think of it as a DM, and I'll think about it as like, is it fun to play? Is it fun? Does it give the DM something to do? Does it give the DM a place to expand, to allow their storytelling to come to the fore? Is it fun to voice act? Can you make up silly voices? Are there cool, compelling characters to play with? And then underneath that, then I want to try to see if I can seed either something that's really fun and upbeat and that makes players feel good and a great little, a villain to defeat or a puzzle to solve, or and then to go even under another level under that, like, is there some kind of little message in there that's about heroism or is about bravery or courage, or standing up for your pals, or something that brings the party together, or a moral dilemma that, like, I could do that, but I'll be a jerk to this person. Because I like to make the players think about that. And ultimately, I feel like D&D should be something that after you're done playing the game, you all sit around afterwards and talk about it. And, wasn't that great? Wasn't that awesome? So-and-so got to be the hero, or so-and-so, got to overcome that problem. So I like that part of D&D. I think that, stories are powerful, and, if you look back in history, I mean, stories are what kind of move culture and motivate new thought and motivate, moral questions. So underneath all the fun trappings of D&D, I think is this very essential key component of human beings, which is telling stories and sort of figuring things out.
You can pre-order the Tomb of Annihilation right now by clicking on the link in this video description. Thanks for watching.